Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Well, tonight may be the long-promised October surprise from WikiLeaks. Julian Assange has talked about this for a long time. Tonight there will be a press conference. We'll be covering it live with Alex Jones, the rest of the Infowars crew. That'll be at 2 a.m. Central Time tonight. This is going to be historic live coverage. And again, as we look at the interest in this, it is the top Google trend. That's an article we have at Infowars.com. And people are asking, what could WikiLeaks have on Hillary Clinton? That's the top trend on Google. We captured that. It's an article that's linked by Matt Drudge. And as we point out in the article, Assange said, we have upcoming leaks in relation to Hillary Clinton. He told that to Britain's ITV. He said, we've accumulated a lot of material about Hillary Clinton. We all have, but they've got a lot of documents that they're going to show, I'm sure, at some point. Tonight, we believe it's going to be it. He says, we could proceed to an indictment. Now, early last month, we point out in an interview with Fox News' Sean Hannity, Assange stated that the long-awaited leaks were imminent, leading many to believe that the information on Clinton would be released tonight. And again, he was originally going to deliver the remarks from the balcony at the Ecuadorian embassy. And if you see the pictures of that balcony that Matt Drudge had up on the Drudge Report, it's a very low-level balcony. There you can see that it's just above the heads of the people standing at street level, a very dangerous thing for him to do. So they have declined to do that now. They're going to be doing a telecast, and we will be covering that tonight live at 2 a.m. Central. I want to take a moment and look at the pattern of deception and misdirection that we've seen from the Clintons in the last week, beginning with the debate last week. What is emerging, even today, as we see the new news about Bill Clinton's love child from decades ago, what is emerging is really, I guess you could call it a tale of sex lies and document leaks, trying to just show people who the Clintons really are. And when I saw this report that we had about a week ago after the event, the debate last Tuesday, took a couple of days, but people said, you know, I noticed that there was a lot of unusual and repeating hand signals, it appeared to be from Hillary Clinton, you know, touching her nose, and a corresponding response from Lester Holt when she would do that. They documented that. They showed it to a poker player, a professional poker player, and he goes, oh, that's very common. Reminded me of The Sting. Take a look at the end of The Sting trailer, that movie from 1974, Paul Newman and Robert Redford. Here's that clip.
Paul Newman and Robert Redford.
See, they're doing it with the nose.
This time, they might get away with it.
Yeah, this time they might get away with it. Who knows? They might. Take a look at the montage that was put together. And this is several GIFs that are in parallel showing the different signals that Hillary Clinton did. Run that tape there and take a look at the Hillary Clinton montage. Yeah, that's the Clinton sting, isn't it? And if you watch the video, you can find it at several sources on YouTube. They show how she does these hand signals, and then right after that, you see the response from Lester Holt that gives her precisely what she wants. And of course, as you look at this debate, she even had some concealed carry on the back as she bends over. Look at that. Right there, you can see some wires as well as some kind of a device on her back. What is that? Is that a communication device? Is it a medical device? We don't know. That's the kind of things that the Clintons do. And think about the fact of how they use misdirection. Look at what they did this last week with Cuba, for example. You know, we have the State Department under Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. They're laundering money for the Iranians. $1.7 billion. Foreign currency. Secret flights from Switzerland to Iran, which Obama himself declared to be a terrorist state. That was a violation of not only sanctions, but it was a criminal felony to send money to states that are designated as terrorists. They did it with plane loads full of foreign cash. So how does she misdirect people away from that? Well, she concocts a story saying, well, you know, there was somebody that worked for somebody for Donald Trump that went to Cuba, and he reimbursed his company, and they paid them like $68,000. And so I think he was trying to get around the embargo. Very different. Tens of thousands of times different in terms of quantity. and an absolute, as they pointed out on Hot Air, this is like Bernie Madoff complaining about getting bad investment advice. Not only is the magnitude of this different, but it's a felony versus, it's not a felony versus what Hillary Clinton did. And of course, as we see her doing that, we have to understand that it was Hillary herself and Obama, her State Department and Obama, that took away the embargo. Trying to get votes in Cuba from people, you're the ones who took away the embargo. Furthermore, Terry McAuliffe, close Clinton advisor, the guy who ran Hillary's 2008 campaign, the guy who ran Bill Clinton's reelection campaign, the guy who was the Debbie Wasserman Schultz for them in the middle. Okay, he was head of the DNC. This guy directly went to Cuba to try to drum up some business as they were pulling off the sanctions there, and he is now governor of Virginia, trying to get felons to vote, and we see massive voter fraud going on in terms of registration in Virginia as well. But it's also things like taxes. Look at the way she has misdirected us on taxes. Donald Trump offers us hope. He offers us hope of a simplified tax system with lower taxes. What does Hillary Clinton do? She responds with a policy of envy. And I think nothing says that more than if you look at this article that came out in July when it looked at the tax plans of Hillary versus Donald Trump. And I want you to take a look at how it affects everybody. Bottom line, here's a spoiler. Everybody's taxes go up under Hillary Clinton, and everybody's taxes go down with Donald Trump. How do you fight that? Well, you fight that with envy. That has always been the way the Democrats have been able to increase taxes. You say to people, well, you're making a third of this person over here. If we, change the taxes, if we lower taxes, they're going to get 3 times more money saved than you do, because it's percentages. Not only that, but the rich are taxed at a higher percentage. So even though you have those types of situations, they always play the envy game. But what they do is they try to misdirect you to Donald Trump's taxes. Understand that if he had a loss, and whether it was a loss in a business that failed or whether it was a loss with a lawsuit against somebody who did not perform and he did not get that money, had to take it over a 20-year period of time, that is no more wrong than if you take a mortgage deduction for your home. It's essentially the same thing. But they try to sell this as a policy of envy. Real quickly, let's take a look at what they want to do. Donald Trump wants to lower taxes the most of any president we've seen, more than JFK, and that was a big boon to the economy, as JFK said. A rising tide lifts all boats. That was the kind of Democrat that JFK was. Ronald Reagan came along, and he lowered taxes for everybody and simplified the rates. Hillary Clinton wants to raise the rates and keep it as complicated, actually more complicated. The rates that Donald Trump is proposing is 0% for people who are single with an income of $25,000 or less. 0%. That's the first bracket. The next bracket is 12%. Those making up to $75,000. Those between $75,000 and $225,000, 25%. Those at $225,000 and more, 33%. But see, that's not good enough for those who focus on the politics of envy. Also, the death tax that she is so proud of, 65%, the highest tax rate that any candidate has ever proposed since Ronald Reagan. And she even bragged, it was a Freudian slip. She said, I'm going to raise taxes on the middle class. Remember when she said that? Now, a lot of people have said, well, 65%, that's the highest rate on the death taxes. The highest rate on death taxes right now is 40%. The lowest death tax rate under Hillary Clinton would be 45%. If you have a family business, if you have a family farm, are you going to be able to hire lawyers to contest the evaluation of the IRS that forces you to liquidate at fire sale prices so you can pay the IRS these taxes at death when you've been paying massive amounts of taxes all along? Let's take a quick look at the different groups here that Time Magazine broke this down. First of all, the working poor, those making between $25,000 and $45,000, average of $35,000, they would have a tax savings each year. If you make between $25,000 and $45,000, an average tax savings of about $1,000. And understand that over 4 years, that's going to add up to about $4,000. For what they call the solid middle, that'd be people making between $45,000 and $81,000. Those people would save each year, $2,776. Over 4 years of a presidential term With a President Trump, you would save $11,104 versus a President Clinton. The upper middle class, those making between $81,000 and $143,000. The first year, each year, you would save $5,512 with Trump as president versus Hillary Clinton. Over 4 years, those people would pay $22,000 more if Clinton is president. Finally, the well-to-do, those making between $143,000 and $209,000. $7,977 each year, so they would save about $32,000 over a 4-year period. But look at who really would see the biggest change here, and that is Uncle Sam. As they point out, they look at Uncle Sam. How would Uncle Sam fare under these different tax plans? Well, you would have $575 billion difference each year between Hillary and Donald Trump. That's $2.3 trillion over 4 years. Do you really want to take money out of the economy? Do you really want to take money out of your budget and then give it to the government and have them hand it back to you as a child on an allowance? If they give it back to you at all, they'll be giving it back to their cronies, to their friends. That's the true way that this is going to break down. But when I looked at this misdirection from the sting and the hand signals that she's giving Lester Holt and the idea that she might get away with it, in a sense, you almost have to admire the masterful misdirection of the Clintons. And I thought about the DNC when Bill Clinton got up. He had a very tough sell. He had to sell people on Hillary Clinton and his relationship. He had to sound like father knows best. We have this strong relationship that's gone back for decades. See, we're still together. He doesn't mention any of the affairs. He doesn't mention any of the sexual assaults. No problems at all like that. Doesn't mention his illegitimate son. Doesn't mention any of that stuff. And I thought, wow, he's got a tough job to do it. If you notice, when he first came out, the way that he warmed up to this is he started talking about this girl that he saw. He saw her across the way. I want to play this for you here in just a moment. And it kind of reminded me of The Sting. In The Sting, you got Paul Newman, who's the mastermind of it. And you've got the character that's played by Robert Redford. They call him Hooker, because he is infatuated with women. And I guess Bill Clinton would be the hooker of the two, because he can't control himself around women. He's not only a drug user, but this guy is addicted to sex, and not even consensual sex. He is a hedonist. He has a moral failing. But of course, the people in America today see that not as a character flaw. They don't see that as disqualifying somebody for leadership. And I want you to take a look at this. I put some music in the background here from The Sting here so you can hear what this guy is really about. And he's projecting, I think, his predatory nature and talking about how it's his relationship with Hillary Clinton. Here's that clip.
She exuded this sense of strength and self-possession that I found magnetic. After the class, I followed her out, intending to introduce myself. I got close enough to touch her back, but I couldn't do it. Somehow I knew this would not be just another tap on the shoulder. That I might be starting something I couldn't stop.
Yeah, he might be starting something he couldn't stop. He does have a problem controlling himself. Today, the decades-old story about Bill Clinton's love child that he had with a black sex worker has resurfaced again. And the question is this really going to hurt the Clintons, or are they going to be able to spin this one around again? Joe Biggs has been trying to talk to this guy. Danny Williams is the young man who's now grown up. Been trying to talk to him for a while, and he knows, he has this guy's social media sites. He took a look at it, but this guy, I'm not really sure how this is going to work out. He now calls himself Danny Williams Clinton, and if you look at his site, it's all about Black Lives Matter. Hashtag Black Lives Matter, hashtag BLM. He has a photo at the top of BLM. And when I look at this, I'm very concerned that this is going to shift the narrative from rape to consensual sex, because this was a consensual relationship that he had the out-of-wedlock son with. That's exactly what they did with Monica Lewinsky. They focused on Monica Lewinsky and let him get away with the rapes that he committed against people like Juanita Broderick, who, by the way, was a year younger than Chelsea Clinton is today. Let's not worry about hurting Chelsea Clinton's feelings to find out that her father is a sexual predator, a sexual criminal. I think it also shores up Hillary Clinton's street creds with the black groups that would vote for her. She has nothing to play but the race card. That's the way that they roll. They break people into groups. They don't want people to see themselves as individuals. They try to break people into groups. And I think, as I've talked to many Democrats in the past, they really didn't understand that the difference was between consensual sex and rape. They thought that Bill Clinton was actually kind of cool for having a string of bimbos. He does have a string of bimbos, but he also has a string of victims. But I think those same people who cannot see the perjury that he committed, the lying under oath for which he was impeached, they cannot see the sexual crimes that he committed, those same people are going to look at this situation and say, hey, that's kind of cool. He's got a black son. He was the first black president. I think they're going to give him a pass.
November 12th, fighting Rashad Evans in New York at Madison Square Gardens. I'm coming to not only win, but to dominate. I need to make an exclamation mark to the entire division that I have been and I still am the best fighter in that division. I have 2 months to get ready for the fight. I'm gonna go to Albuquerque, New Mexico, to Jackson Winklejohn MMA. We're actually gonna bring some cameras from Infowars to film some of my fight camp. You know, when you're training, you're training 90-minute sessions once, twice, 3 times a day. You know, there's 1 day a week that I only have 1 workout. All the other days are 2 or 3 times. You know, I use Super Male Vitality when I am tired, when I'm broken. It's those things, it's these supplements that kick me into the next gear so I can have another training session.
It's cold pressed known herbs. I didn't develop this. The top herbologist, doctor group in the country. It's the best.
Yeah.
It's like sold in medical clinics, but it doesn't copy testosterone. It only gets your body to release the hormones you already have. And what I'm told is it actually blocks estrogen mimickers that are in all the plastics and crap, so it brings you more to your natural state.
What's in the things that I'm taking are real herbs. This is real food that I'm taking before workouts and after workouts.
Totally natural.
Totally natural to feel better and to be the most elite athlete on the planet.
And by the way, years ago, you and Shane were going out and getting raw milk. You were getting your vegetables from the Amish.
Go buy the product. I believe in it. It's the real deal.
And I mean, look at me. I mean, I'm no Ted Kennedy, but 70 pounds I've lost.
You feel it, you notice it, and I'm still getting faster. I'm still getting stronger. You know, I'm still becoming harder to kill every day.
With Super Male Vitality, X2 and other products, it's helped me lose over 70 pounds of freaking fat. I gained back about 30, 40 pounds of muscle. I'm a pretty big guy. And it's incredible what Mother Nature gave us, and your purchase supports everything we're doing. But you heard Tim Kennedy, who I never intended to be a sponsor.
I like it. You know, is it evil of me that I don't want Hillary's camp to start using any of our supplements? Because she might actually get a little healthier.
You know, we thought of that as a joke to send her some Super Male Vitality, and people said, well, wait, we don't want to help her. It might actually help her.
No, but really, like, it affects change. I take Super Male Vitality every single day. I love it. My wife loves it. My coaches love it because I have energy nonstop. There's a foundation to being an athlete. You know, there's kind of the 4 cornerstones. You got to have healthy sleep. You have to have that workload, that hard work in the gym or every day and your job, whatever that is, hard workload. Then you have to be intimate. You have to be connected with your spouse or whoever you're with. And then lastly is nutrition. All of those are equally important. They all play parts in how you are healthy as a man. So for me as a male athlete, I have to be intimate with my wife every day, a couple of times a day if I can. You know, like I have to get good sleep. I have to have that good work, and I have to have that good food. And these things, Super Male Vitality is one of those things that is cornerstone to who I am as an athlete and as a man.